Hello, one and all. Glitch Failure here, and today I will be tackling a simple problem, which is a password generator. And this is in line with my I Can Code That series because I think it's something that I could definitely code, and it's something that I have been actually using a lot lately. What I have been using is this application called 1Password, which is a password manager. It actually has this functionality that allows you to generate passwords on the fly really quickly. But I was thinking of like my past self when I didn't have a password manager and how useful that would have been to have. So I figured I could just code that up pretty quickly. I'm sure there are password generators online, but you might want to think like, oh, well, should I trust that? I'd rather maybe code it myself and trust my own code. And so what I'll be building out right now is a pretty simple function that has 3 inputs: a password length, and whether or not I want to allow digits or symbols, since I know that some applications, when you're creating an account, they don't allow certain things for the password, and so maybe you want to tease that out yourself. So I will be using Python here, and I'm using just base Python, so no like fancy imports or anything like that. So I think I'll start out by importing the random module, which comes with base Python, as well as the strings module, which has like all the string characters that we're going to be using. Okay, so let's do import random and import strings, I think. Nope, it's just string. Okay, import string. Okay, and so random is a module that you can do random, and I think it just like generates a random number. You could also do things like random.choice, which takes a list or some kind of collection, and you can like pull from that. And the string module comes with a bunch of like stuff like ASCII letters, which are just all the letters capital and lowercase, as well as like digits, and I think punctuation, I think, is what I want to be using. Okay, so when I say digits, I'm going to use like 0 through 9, obviously, and then for the symbols, I'll be using the punctuation. If you have those boolean set to true, then you're going to be kind of pulling in from all of those. All right, let's set up our function. I'm going to define rand password. I'm going to say n equals like 32 to begin with as a default. Use digits equals true. So I want, like, by default, you just like just put everything in, and use symbols to be true as well. So everything is set up from the get-go. All right, so I'm going to have an output to begin with, which is just a string, and I want to return that output at the end. And what happens in the middle is basically us choosing characters from our sets. But our sets are going to depend on whether we want to use digits or symbols. So I need to have like a collection of character sets that I will pull from randomly. So I'm going to say these are character sets. And I'll start out with everything. We're always going to use string.ASCII letters. So that will always be true. And then if use digits is set as true, then we want to char sets append string dot digits. And then if use symbols, character sets dot append string dot punctuation. Okay, so let me just print out character sets here and call the function random password by itself. Okay, all right, so it seems like we got everything in the set there. Okay, so now when I'm creating my random password, I need to now like kind of keep going until the output is the proper length. So while the length of output is less than n, we're going to keep adding to the character to the new character randomly from our character sets, but it has to be at the first pick one of the character sets. So I think the character set, every time we add one, is going to be selected at random, so random.choice from our character sets. So we're going to pick one of these randomly. So maybe it'll be like the letters or the numbers or the punctuations. One thing I will note here is that this random.choice is pulling from the set the same probability. So each one of these collections has the same 1/3 chance of being pulled. So even though this one is larger, you might think, oh, maybe I could just like concatenate all these strings together and then like pull from that. But then you would have a disproportionate preference towards letters, which I don't want. So I do like the idea of just pulling at random 1/3 chance, or 1/2 if it's only 2 of them. So we pull from a character set, and then I think I could just add directly to the output one of the random characters, random.choice. This time is now pulling from the character set specifically. So we're first pulling from these 3 strings. Then once we get one of the strings, that's its own kind of collection. Then we pull one from that, and then we add that to the output. And I think that's actually all we got to do. So let's see if we can run that here. Okay, that looks good. Keep going. Okay, not bad. Rand password. And let me set use digits to false. Okay, and let me copy that and say use symbols false. Oops, not double equals. Okay, and I have some numbers in there, I guess. And then I can do both use digits and use symbols. So false, which means I basically just have like random letters. Okay, so that was actually pretty straightforward and simple. Pretty quick video, and I definitely want to like kind of get back into the rhythm of making videos. It's been a kind of rough year, at least end of the year. So I've been on a bit of a hiatus. So what I've also done here is I have added this, in case you don't want to have to code everything yourself, I've added this code to a replit, which is free to use. So anyone can just like go to this website here. I'll have the link in the description for sure. And you just basically go to this and just run the code, and you will have, you know, the random passwords if you want to generate it that way, because it's pretty quick. All right, so folks, if this is the kind of content you enjoy, please make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good things, and I will see you next time.